Now we can add more than one plot to a figure, right? So we have what is called plt.subplots. Okay, that's the command that we can use, and that command will create both. So this is slightly different from before. Before we did figure and then added axis. Now plot subplots, plt.subplots will create a figure and it will insert blank axis objects, however many that you want, in that, so in one code. So it will give you both the figure as well as the axis objects. Okay. So syntax is plt subplots, and then you say m comma n. So that would be how many rows of axis you want and how many columns of axis you want. Okay. So the default is 1 and 1. Okay, and you can have the plots share the x-axis. So if you have plots in a row, in a column, several plots, they all can share the same x-axis. Or plots going across in a row can all share the same y-axis. Of course, that's by default it's false. Squeeze is the space that's between them. Okay, so here is a command where you have the code plt subplots 2 comma 3 generates 2 rows of plot objects, axis objects, and 3 columns of axis objects. So totally 6 axis objects are created. Okay, so it gives back a figure object, that's your canvas, and then axis objects. So these are names given by us, FIGAX. So this is a tuple. So it gives you tuple, and tuple will get separated. The first item is the figure that's put here. Second item is the axis objects that's put into this one. Okay. So this is our default. Okay, so if you look at the, well, I have to run this first. So the figure object is that. Okay, that's the canvas. Axis object AX. You see there are 6 objects. So this will be AX square bracket 0, AX square bracket 1, AX square bracket 2, and so on. Okay, we'll look at how to access each of those little axis objects in just a minute. But the default is, the numbers are just running into each other and so on. So we want to add some extra space. So adjust space between and around subplots. So we have subplots adjust left, bottom, right, top, white space, width space, and height space. They're all none right now by default. Okay. All right. So if you create the subplots, and then you use plot subplots, plt subplots adjust, and you adjust the white space, so you get that. Okay, so it puts extra space here, and you have a little better looking canvas. Okay, and in the first line you can specify figure size as well. So after the plot subplots 2 comma 3, there are 6 axis objects we want to create, and the canvas size should be, you can specify that. Fig size is 20 by 15, so that's the width and the height. So then you get that. Okay. So fig size parameter sets the size of the figure, so within which the axis will be rendered. Okay, so here without the figure size. All right, so let's do question number 3. Create a figure with 3 rows and 2 columns. Make sure that the charts are properly spaced. Okay. All right. So we do. Well, actually, so this is the command, right? PLT subplots. Subplots. PLT subplots. Okay, 3 comma 2. So we want 3 rows and 2 columns, right? So it's doing that. All right. So we can save this like that. Okay. So the figure is saved in FIG, and the axes are saved in AX. Now we can add, after 3 and 2, we can add fixed size. Fixed size, you give that as a tuple. Say 10 comma 15, so it will give you like that. Or you can say, all right, and then you can play with that and see what will work best for you. Now you didn't have to use white space, W space and H space. You could, okay, without, instead of fixed size, you can use PLT subplots adjust, right? And W space 0.2, H space 0.3. Okay, so that's another way of accomplishing this. So with these two, figure size and W space and H space, you can play around with it until you get a canvas that you like best.